Coming up this time.
Oh, you've got a bit of a welcome party, Rory.
Lizzie and I fly over 100 miles to Salisbury and land off airfield at the racecourse.
Wake the people up in the caravans anyway.
I get to see an auntie, uncle and a cousin for the first time in over 18 months. And we do the double with Bry's zone transits.
Helicentre 45, clear transit, Bry's controlled airspace, south to north of VFR, no altitude restriction, Bry's QNH 1016.
This is Rory on air.
Warning lights are all out, temperature pressure in the green.
My name is Rory Auskerry and I'm a commercial helicopter pilot. Today my wife Lizzie and I are off on another hour building trip in the R44.
So we're on our way down to Salisbury to see my aunt and uncle and my cousin live in Salisbury. We were hoping to go to Old Sarum Airfield, which I've been keen to land at for a long time.
That's been years.
But they're not, as far as I'm aware, and I have tried to get in there, they're not open. So we couldn't get into Old Sarum, so I was looking at other options, and Thruxton are closed today because they've got motor racing going on all weekend. Boscombe Down is a military airfield which I think probably would have let us in during the week, judging by what they said, but they're closed at the weekend and there's a flying school that operate out of there. Fortunately for us, the guys at Salisbury Racecourse, where my uncle's a regular patron, were happy to let us in, so that suits us great because that's really close to where my aunt lives, and also be, exercising the full capabilities of the helicopter, whereas using Boscombe Down's enormous runway seems a bit of a shame. There are some showers on the forecast today. Generally all the TAFs are pretty favourable. They're 2,500, 3,500 foot cloud base, which is what we're seeing borne out at the moment. But there is a fair bit of low pressure around, so I am expecting that some showers will develop later on, and we may have to do a little bit of judicious shower dodging on the way back. And if you just fly in perfect VFR conditions all the time, where it's cav okay, it's not really representative of what actual work's going to be like.
No, exactly.
So I'm, obviously I want to be totally safe, but I also want to be...
It's good to have the challenge every now and again, and not flying exactly the same conditions all the time.
Exactly. So we've got a following wind at the moment, which is quite nice because we're doing 100 knots 100 knots airspeed, but 110 knots over the ground. So our route home is going to be a bit slower than our route down. We're gonna get some fuel somewhere down south. We've already checked in with Popham yesterday, and they're available, and they've got avgas. I phoned Compton Abbas this morning, and they're open as well.
Sending a radar, helicopter Golf Oscar Echo Sierra, request traffic service.
Ooh, big league. Sam's getting a traffic service.
Say again the call sign, please. Golf Oscar Echo Sierra.
What's a traffic service?
It's basic service is the basic, traffic service is next level up.
Okay.
The controller will tell you, there's traffic 5 miles ahead, descending, which they sometimes do on a basic service when they're not too busy and they're concerned about how close you are, but on a traffic service they will tell you about everything.
Right.
That's relevant.
And why would you request traffic service instead of a basic service?
Well, it's safer because they tell you about traffic, so you're looking out the window looking for traffic, but they're going to tell you about it as well.
But I'm guessing if everybody asked for a traffic service,
controllers will be slammed.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll just say no.
Yeah.
They'll say like traffic service unavailable due to controller workload or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you don't need it,
Then don't request
I don't tend to ask for it.
We continued southbound, first getting a transit through Bry's Norton zone and then talking to London Information. During an extensive briefing call I had the day before our trip with someone from Salisbury Ops, they explained that the various danger areas were going to be in heavy use over the weekend, so they advised me to route around to the east. Although it looks quite complicated on the chart, with good planning it was actually quite straightforward to fly. A planning call to Thruxton Airfield told me that they were closed for a motor racing event on the day, and the Boscombe Mats was also closed. However, the Boscombe ATZ was active with a local flying club, so I made blind traffic calls on the frequency.
Boscombe traffic, Helicentre 45 is overhead Thruxton at 2,800 feet on 1017. We're going to remain to the south of the A303 and above the Boscombe Zone ATZ en route to Salisbury Racecourse. There's a bit of a shoe here.
Where's your windscreen wipers?
Don't have any. Check the outside air temperature. It's +5 degrees, so we don't have to worry about if it was
Flight call Golf
0, we'd be concerned because that's major icing risk.
Yep.
Touch and go.
As I'd expected from my weather planning, we ran into a light isolated shower en route, but it didn't cause us any issues.
Heli Centre 45 is overhead Boscombe zone visual with the traffic on the grass runway. We're continuing to track the 303 westbound, and then we'll turn south ahead into Salisbury Racecourse. That is a big old bit of tarmac, that, isn't it?
It's
Two
huge.
big old bits of tarmac.
Everything looks so small from up here.
I know.
Oh, there's the cathedral.
Yeah.
With Salisbury's famous cathedral now in sight, I started to think about the approach into our landing site at the racecourse.
Heli Centre 45 are shortly going to be letting down at Salisbury Racecourse and going off radio. Where's this racecourse then? Ah, is that it there?
That looks like the racecourse.
I think that's it there, and I think that is a line of horse stables and the field that we're going to land
Charlie
in.
Victor, vacated runway at Foxtrot, taxiing back to Hasmo 11 via Bravo.
We want to be about 1,500 feet on the QNH for our first initial recce. And we're going to approach in this direction because of the way the wind is, so we'll probably come in over the corner in the gap between the trees and the horse stables.
Okay. So we're landing in the field this side of the trees.
Oscar
Yeah.
Zone,
Right.
good morning. Golf India Oscar Whiskey Echo for a basic service.
There's people on the ground.
There is indeed. Sensible rate of descent, everything's in the green. I think we'll just come in just like this and we'll just hold the height here.
I think you've got a bit of a welcome party, Roy. No, there's no horses there at all. Wake the people up in the caravans anyway. Oh, there's Nick and Chrissy. How's Dulce? Oh.
Golf Zulu south of Beam Salisbury, 1,800 feet, QSY Compton Abbas 122.710.
Good work. Nice work. You've got nothing.
Darling Lizzie! We saw two things and we were getting so excited, and then Dad goes, look, no, that's not him.
Darling Lizzie! Great girl! That was absolutely brilliant!
Well, you can't ask for a better welcome than that, can you?
There you go, we'll just come round it one more time, why not?
I actually took my Uncle Nick and cousin Dulcie up for a trip in the helicopter while we were here. They were both mad keen to have a go, and as I needed fuel from Compton Abbas anyway, it made absolute sense to take them with me. It was such an enjoyable and fun flight for all three of us that I decided to make it into its own standalone video rather than try and wedge it into the middle of this one. So keep an eye out for that in the next few weeks here on this channel. I really think you'll enjoy it when the time comes. We certainly did.
That is seriously cool. Woo!
Right, we better go back, otherwise we're going to be out here mucking about enjoying ourselves all day. We're not having any lunch.
Now, with full fuel on board and having secured the aircraft, we went into Salisbury for lunch with my family before returning to the racecourse ready for our flight home to Leicester. The sight of a gleaming helicopter parked up ready for me to fly never gets old. I absolutely love it. Well, that's all the checks done. We've had a lovely lunch with Chrissy and Nick and Dulcie, and there's a bit of showers around. There's a little bit of a shower over there behind me. but it looks clear that way, so we've got a clear way out, and once we get up in the air we'll assess and see how things are looking. But I'm confident that it's isolated. I've had a good look at the rain radar and the local weather stuff as well. So we're going to get back on board, head back up to Leicester. Flight time should be just under an hour and 10 minutes. We'll get back to Leicester before 5 o'clock and put the aircraft to bed, and hopefully, all things being well, that'll be another successful mission complete. So join us on board for the final leg of today's trip. Okay, battery on, strobe goes on, fuel is finally filled at the full, mixture fully rich.
That was really lovely to see them all.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was really good fun.
Excellent. Yeah. That shower is way out that way, which is great. Look clear where we're going up that way, so.
Yep.
Happy days.
Indeed.
Right, 126, we need to get on to Boscombe. 126.7. Boscombe traffic, heli centre 45 is an R44 helicopter just lifted from Salisbury Racecourse. We're going to route back towards Leicester via the A303, and then overhead Thruxton. Will be staying well outside of Old Sarum zone, and will remain outside the Boscombe ATZ. So we'll keep on coming up, get a bit more height so we can go over the top of Boscombe.
Okay.
I'd like to give a big shout out to the team at Salisbury Racecourse for being so helpful and accommodating to us on this trip. It's much appreciated. Our route home will be almost exactly the reverse of what we flew on the way down, passing over Boscombe Down and Thruxton's ATZs before heading north towards the eastern end of the Bryce zone.
Boscombe Down, heli centre 45, we've now departed the mats to the north en route to Leicester. We're going to change to London information on 124.6. Have a good afternoon.
Still to come, a controller tests my aircraft recognition skills, and have you spotted my mistake yet? If you're enjoying this video, I hope you'll hit the subscribe and like buttons, and don't forget to leave a comment as well.
London information, good afternoon, heli centre 45, request basic service.
Heli Centre 45, good afternoon, London information, pass your message.
Heli Centre 45 is an R44 helicopter from Salisbury Racecourse up to Leicester. Currently 6 miles northeast of Thruxton Airfield, altitude 2,200 feet on 1018 with 2 POB VFR routing direct, request basic service.
Heli Centre 45, squawk 1177 with mode Charlie, basic service.
Squawk 1177 mode Charlie, basic service, Heli Centre 45.
I'm really grateful to those of you who've been kind enough to support my filmmaking by either contributing to my new Buy Me a Coffee page or becoming a member on Patreon. I do genuinely really appreciate all your donations and support. Thank you very much indeed.
Amazing how much more confident I am with the rotor blades now spinning above me, whereas I used to find it really disconcerting when we first started.
No, well, I'm delighted that you feel more confident about it all.
That's why I didn't feel confident in the first place. It used to really bug me about the rotor blade, but I don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah.
No.
It's just different. It's like the prop in front of you. You know,
Yeah,
I reckon when I go back
exactly.
to flying the aeroplanes again, I'll be like, well, bloody prop in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But normally you don't worry about it.
No.
Heli Centre 45, we're going to change frequency to Bryce zone on 119.0.
Heli Centre 45, thank you, squawk conspicuity, bye-bye.
Squawk conspicuity, many thanks, Heli Centre 45. Bryce zone, good afternoon, Heli Centre 45, request basic service and zone transit.
Heli Centre 45, still with London information, sir.
No, thank you, Heli Centre 45. Because the switching frequency button doesn't work on the bottom box.
We've all done it, haven't we? And this wasn't even the mistake that I was asking you to see if you could spot.
Annoying. Bryce Zone, good afternoon, Heli Centre 45, request basic service and zone transit.
Heli Centre 45, basic service, pass message.
Heli Centre 45 is an R44 helicopter from Salisbury Racecourse to Leicester. Currently 8 miles northwest of Compton VOR. We're currently at 2,200 feet on 1015, 2 POB VFR routing to rep, request a basic service and a transit through your zone remaining to the west of Oxford.
Heli Centre 45, Squawk 3701.
Squawk 3701, Heli Centre 45.
Heli Centre 45, clear transit, Bryce controlled airspace, south to north VFR, no altitude restriction, Bryce QNH 1016.
Bryce QNH 1016, clear to transit, south to north, no altitude restriction, VFR, many thanks, Heli Centre 45.
That was easy.
Happy days. Once you get on the right frequency, you're home in a boat.
Yeah, as long as you're talking to the right people, it's usually fine.
Yeah, there's a button here that lets you change. If you look at the top radio, if I press that, it switches the two frequencies around, but it doesn't work on the second box, and I've forgotten. So I pressed that button instead of that button. And then obviously it just changed the top radio, which is not the one I'm using.
No.
And then I ended up saying the same thing on London Info again, like a plonker. Yeah, good stuff. Fuel, we're an hour and a half, just over.
Yeah.
Probably about an hour and 40 of fuel left. Radio, we're tuning, talking to Bryce. We've got permission to transit. Engine T's and P's are all in the green.
Yep.
The DI is aligned. The altimeter is set to 1016 and transponder 3701 mode Charlie.
Heli Centre 45 at traffic, right at 1 o'clock, 2 miles, crossing left, right, slow moving, no height information.
Looking for traffic, Heli Centre 45. There it is. Visual with the traffic, Heli Centre 45.
Heli Centre 45, what is that traffic?
It's a fixed wing, might be a glider, it's probably a couple of hundred feet above us. My recognition skills are not that good, I'm afraid.
Heli Centre 45, no worries.
I think it is a glider.
Heli Centre 45, entering controlled airspace, radar control, remain Victor Mike Charlie.
Radar control service and remain Victor Mike Charlie, Heli Centre 45.
London, do you think you could find the weather for me, the METAR for Exeter Airport, Golf Uniform Golf?
Yep, not a problem at all, sir. I've got the 1520 if you're ready to copy.
Yes,
so the 1520 Exeter, the wind 020 degrees at 10 knots. Visibility is greater than 10 kilometres, although 9 kilometres to the northeast. There are showers in the vicinity. Scatter cloud 2,800 feet with CBs. Temperature is +12, dew point +06, and a QNH of 1017.
Very helpful of it.
Roger that weather. Thank you for your assistance, Golf Uniform Golf.
It's very helpful of it.
They are very helpful. I mean, all these controllers, they provide a service to help make us safer and give us situational awareness, etc., etc.
Bravo India, Bravo Alpha, Roger, Squawk Conspicuity, 3 call Denham, good day.
Great service provided.
Yeah.
Approved, change approved, thank you. Golf Bravo India, Bravo Alpha.
Well, this is definitely the way to do the hour building anyway.
Definitely.
Go and see family and take people up to experience the joys of helicopter flight.
Well, as you say, you've got to do it anyway, and it seems a bit of a shame not to share it with other people.
Yeah, exactly. Much more fun for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so much more realistic of what actual commercial work's going to be like.
Yeah,
you know, Nick
exactly.
with his maps and wanting to go places and planning something on the hoof and having a look at the airspace and what's around and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Information, Golf Lima Foxtrot Sierra India, request basic service.
That's always why I wanted to be a helicopter pilot, partly rather than fixed wing, because there's so much more make it up as you go along.
Yeah.
PA28.
Heli Centre 45, we're 10 miles south of Leicester Airfield. We're going to change to Leicester now on 122.130.
Heli Centre 45, Roger, good day, sir.
Squawk 7000, many thanks, and good afternoon to you too, Heli Centre 45. The windsock looks like it's favouring 06, to be honest. I think we'll just go straight for the grass.
Fair enough.
Heli Centre 45 entering the zone from the south, and we're going to make a straight approach for the 06 grass numbers.
Heli Centre 45, Roger. No other traffic reported in the ATZ at this time.
Roger, Heli Centre 45. You look at the windsock, this is spot on this.
Remember, final to go to it.
Right, they wanted me a little bit further over so that there's room for Sam to park behind me.
Okay.
But I don't want to block the Jet A tank. So I think this will probably do us. My best work, but it'll do.
It was alright, thank you. Thanks for driving.
That was great. Back in one piece, and look at
Yeah.
that, 4 minutes to 5, just like Sky Newman said.
Go. That was really well done, thank you.
I'm happy with that. That was a good effort, I think.
Yep,
Thank you
great.
for your patience.
Right.
The mistake that I'm sure many of you have noticed is the fact that I forgot to put the cover over the mixture control when I started the aircraft up. This is there for a reason, to prevent an accidental pulling of the mixture and therefore cutting the engine in mid-flight, which would clearly be a very bad situation. Fortunately, Lizzie is very well briefed on not touching anything in the cockpit, so that reduces the risk slightly. And as I couldn't see the control very easily during flight because it's behind my left knee, I hadn't noticed it until we landed and I started looking at it in preparation for the actual shutdown. My bad, I'm going to be more careful with this in future. Well, look at that, another mission complete. We made it back to Leicester in one piece and the aircraft's not even bent. So I think that's a massive win. We've gone a long way. I don't know how many miles it is. You didn't see how many miles it was by road, did you?
I didn't know. It's quite a long way.
It's quite a long way down to Salisbury, but that was fantastic. Really good fun. And thank you to you, Lizzie, for being such a good sport as always. My favourite cockpit companion. Yeah, loads more trips planned, lots more things going on. I've still got about another 32 hours to build, so lots of stuff to do, and we will of course see you on the next video. Cheerio!